Hello and welcome. My name is Sachin Verma. I am Tech in Geotechnical Engineering and I am BTech in Civil Engineering, and topic we are going to study is basic property of soil. So let's first understand the overview. So the topic I am going to cover today is basic theory of soil. Then we are going to see phase diagram including two phase and three phase diagram. Then we'll see different properties of soil. Like water content, wide ratio, porosity, degree of saturation, air content, percentage air wide, and different type of unit weight. Firstly, question arise why we need to understand these different properties of soil. As you know, in soil engineering, we have to calculate different parameters like bearing capacity, shear strength, and all these parameters depend on these different properties of soil. So first, it is very important to understand these properties. So let us understand first what soil is for an geotechnical engineer or for civil engineer. Soil is natural present material. The thing we understand from this line is that unlike other substance used in civil engineering like steel or concrete whose property can be controlled at site or at industry. But in case of soil, this is present naturally and we cannot control its property. Although we can do different techniques like ground improvement techniques, or we bypass the strata by doing deep foundation. But in general, it is need to understand it that soil is present naturally and we have to use it. Okay, the soil term is also used by different peoples like in field of agronomy or geology, but their concern is different as compared to civil engineering, where maximum civil engineer is concerned about bearing capacity, shear strength, or its seepage analysis, different kind of parameters, but not about parameters that are considered by a field of agronomy. Also, by going the bookish definition of the soil, soil is the unconsolidated material composed of soil particle produced by disintegration of rock. This is generally asked in different competitive exams. So let's go further. So as you can see in first diagram, soil is not a homogeneous material. It have different elements, like here you can see it has voids and it has also solids. These voids can also be distinguished in two different parameters, like void can have either air or can have water. And if we talk about fully saturated soil, in that case, the full void is covered with water only. And if we say about dry soil, the voids are covered with air. So, soil, as I have told you, that we are going to see three phase and two phase diagram. So, the diagram you are seeing here is actually uh, two phase diagram, three phase diagram. Here you can see in the right portion we are showing different weight of elements. We have weight of soil, weight of water, and weight of air. As you know, the weight of air is very small as compared to weight of water or solid. So we assume that weight of air is 0. And in the left portion you can see volume of void and volume of soil solid, and we showing overall volume. So where we can observe three phase diagram, obviously we can observe three phase diagram in partially saturated soil, where we have also air and also have water. Here S is between 0 and 1. What is S? It is degree of saturation. We are going to see it while going further. So in two phase diagram, we can observe two phase diagram in oven dried sample, means fully dried sample, or fully saturated sample, or super saturated, which is also called submerged soil. As you can see in two phase diagram, we have either solid and air, or we have solid and water. Let's go further. Here you can see two phase diagram. This is the case of the saturated soil. Obviously, saturated soil, all the void is going to cover by water only. That means don't have any air in that soil. Air is fully saturated. All voids are fully covered with water. So we have only two phases, that is water and solid, and vice versa in case of two phase diagram in dry soil. All the voids are covered with air only. Let's see different properties of soil. So first property we are going to observe is water content. What is water content? Water content, it is it can be found by dividing weight of water by weight of soil solid, and to convert it in percentage we multiply it with 100. Generally, for dry soil the water content is 0. Why? Because the weight of water will be 0, and for any other type of soil water content is always greater than 0. Okay. Also in this case, the as you can see, water content lower limit is 0. It can be equal to 0, but upper limit is not defined. Also, there is another fact that water content of fine grained soil is more than water content of coarse grained soil. And why is that? Because volume of whites in fine grained soil is more as compared to volume of white in coarse grained soil. Although the size of white is greater in coarse grained soil, but number of whites are more in fine grained soil. That's why overall volume of whites in fine grained soil is more. Definitely then we will going to have weight of water more in fine grained soil. Also, water content in soil represents three kind of water. What are those? Gravity water, capillary water, and hygroscopic water, which we are going to see further. Okay, what is gravitational water? Form of water which reaches at soil water table due to the gravitational force after the rainfall. This form is not available to plant. Definitely when rainfall happen, some water will be going to reach groundwater table, that is gravitational water. What is hygroscopic water? It is the thin film of water is tightly held by soil particle, is called hygroscopic water. This water is also not available to plants. Okay, this is soil particle, and thin film of water is going to be stuck with the water, that is hygroscopic water. What is capillary water? Water exists between soil particle in small capillary pores, is called capillary water. Okay, this is soil particle, this is soil particle, this is hygroscopic water, thin film, and this will form capillary action and soil will rise from here. This particular water is called capillary water, and this is definitely available for plants to growth, and we can remove all this water by the oven drying method. But structural water, that cannot be removed by oven drying. Let's go further. What is void ratio? Let's understand void ratio. Void ratio is found by dividing volume of void to volume of soil solid. Okay, definitely volume of void can never be equal to 0. Can you assume volume of voids cannot be equal to 0? That means if there is no volume of void, means there is all the soil have only solid particles. That is not possible in case of soil. Always whatever efforts we make, how much compaction we do, there is always some voids. Either it can be filled with water or air, that is different case, but there is always we have void. Okay, so if we don't have this portion never be equal to 0, then we will don't have E will never be equal to 0. Means E is always more than 0. So we don't have any upper or lower limit. Okay, E is always than 0, but no upper and lower limit. That should be kept in mind. Let's go. What is porosity? Here we are dividing volume of void with volume of solid, but in case of porosity, we are dividing volume of void with total volume. Means how much volume of voids we have in total volume of soil. Definitely we can have a porosity reaching from greater than 0 to less than 100, but it cannot be equal to 0 or cannot be equal to 100. How is it is possible? Definitely again the same reason, volume of void can, all the soil cannot have total solids and it cannot have total void. Okay, let's go. Okay, a wide ratio is more important engineering property. Why is that? Because in compaction to comparison to porosity, wide ratio is more frequently used because volume of solid remains same whatever total volume changes. This you can understand from that she assume that two different sites have the same soil compacted in different uh, efforts. Means one soil is compacted more and one soil is going to be compacted less. So definitely the soil which we are going to compact more will have less total volume, but both the soil have same volume of solid. See, volume of solid. That's why wide ratio is more commonly used in civil engineering. Let's go further. Let's understand what is degree of saturation. Degree of saturation is can be found by dividing volume of water with volume of void. Or we can understand that how much volume of an void is covered with water. Definitely we have one graph. If we have 25% of volume of void is covered with water, then we call that soil humid, then 50% damp, then 75% moist, then 100% we call wet, and more than 100% we'll call it saturated. Okay, definitely we can have volume of a degree of saturation reaching from 0 to 100%. Means if it is 0, then means it is a dry soil. See, dry soil, and it is equal to 100%, then we call it saturated soil. So let's go to air content. Air content can be found by dividing volume of air with volume of void. Again, it is somewhat related to degree of saturation, where what is amount of volume of water in in volume of void. This is what is amount of volume of air in volume of void. Again, it is can be equal to 0 and goes up to 100. Then we have percentage air void. Percentage air void is found by dividing volume of air to total volume. See, the difference is between this portion, total volume. Let's go further. Let's see about unit weight. Unit weight. We have different type of unit weight. Understand what is unit weight. Unit weight can be found by dividing weight to volume. Weight per unit volume. This is unit weight. Okay, there is also another unit which is called density. Density is found by dividing mass upon volume. And uh, in geotechnical engineering, or in case of civil engineering, we often find we are often finding the values are given in density. Okay, and somewhere we have to use it in unit weight. So how are we going to convert this density to unit weight? Firstly, we need to understand what is weight. Weight is nothing but is type of force. And what is force? Force is m into mass into acceleration. And in case of unit weight, this a unit weight or weight, this a is nothing but acceleration due to gravity. And what is value of this acceleration due to gravity? It is 9.8181. So you can understand, to convert density to unit weight, we need to multiply this density with the value 9.81 in case of earth. In case of earth, okay, that will give us value of unit weight in Newton per meter cube. Meter cube. Newton per meter cube. And if you need to convert this Newton into kilonewton, definitely you are going to divide it by 1000. Okay, so let's understand what is bulk unit weight. Bulk unit weight is nothing but it is weight of soil plus weight of water divided by total volume. Total volume include volume of air, water and soil solid. Then we have dry unit weight. Dry unit weight is nothing but weight of soil solid only divided by total volume. Means we neglect weight of water. And where we find dry unit weight? Obviously in case of dry soil. We have fact that dry unit weight is used to measure the denseness of soil. More dry unit weight means more compacted soil. What is saturated unit weight? Definitely when all whites will again covered with the water, then we have saturated soil. And we are in case of saturated soil, parameter we are going to use is saturated unit weight. We use the weight saturated weight divided by volume. It is ratio of total weight of fully saturated soil sample to its total volume. Then we are going to have submerged unit weight or buoyant unit weight. And understand what is submerged condition. See, when in this case we have volume of we have whites fully covered with the water, but when soil is fully saturated, if we go further going to increase the water, then definitely the water will go further. And after saturation the water will keep on rising, and this is nothing but submerged condition. And the unit we are going in submerged condition is submerged unit weight. And we are going to find submerged unit weight by subtracting unit weight of water from saturated unit weight. And what is value of unit weight of water? As you know, density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Kg per meter cube. That means we have unit weight of water is 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube. Kilonewton per meter cube. Okay, that you understand that In case of unit weight, we have 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube, or for calculation we use 10 kilonewton per meter cube. Then you have a unit weight of soil solid. In this case, the change is here. We have weight of soil solid divided by weight of volume of soil solid only. Okay, then we have here is shown that in decreasing order, what is which unit weight is greater and which unit weight is less. So we have unit weight of soil solid have maximum value, then we have unit weight of saturated soil, then unit weight of bulk soil, bulk unit weight, then we have dry unit weight, then we have a submerged unit weight. Also that submerged unit weight is almost half of saturated unit weight. So this is the all the topics we have covered today, and in another video we'll try to go further and see different tests of soil. So thank you very much.